What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so here's the situation we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of stuff to really talk about with you today. We have some more winter weather expected this coming week. We also have some ongoing winter weather that's going to be impacting much of the mid-Atlantic and potentially all the way up to New England as well. We also have some more stuff happening with the Arctic blast, as well as a timeline on when this finally will lift off and finally start getting warmer for the rest of you guys. So we're going to go ahead and cover all of this. But before we do, we're going to go ahead and look at the National Weather Service, because we have wind chill warnings all the way, once again, from Wyoming all the way to Illinois. And we're going to kind of go ahead and go to the one in the Chicago area to see what we're looking at. At least what with what we have right here. So we're going to go ahead and show you what we're looking at. We're going to refresh this just real quickly, so that way we can get an idea of what we're potentially looking at right here. Never mind. So let's go ahead and show you that. Okay, there's been an error processing my request apparently. So we'll hopefully see if this will go. All right, here we go. Wind chill warning until tomorrow at noon right here. What are we potentially looking at right here? If this thing will actually load, here we go. Wind chills as low as 25 to 40 degrees below zero. For the wind chill advisories, 15 to 30 below zero. Lowest wind chills will be at night and during the morning, and for a lot of these areas over here. And this will remain in effect until tomorrow at noon, so we're going to have to take this very seriously. This is going to be a huge problem. Frostbite could be happening within 15 minutes with those wind chills, so you have to pay attention to this. But we also have some winter storm alerts and other winter weather alerts going on, pretty much from Texas all the way to Pennsylvania and up to Connecticut. There's actually a winter storm warning in effect for parts of South Texas right here, for Rockport, Corpus Christi, Kingsville. That is very interesting. I want to go ahead and take a look at this right here. The winter storm warning in effect as of right now until 3 p.m. this afternoon. For what? Winter storm warning, significant icing. Additional ice accumulations of a light glaze. For the wind chill warning, dangerously cold wind chills. That's pretty interesting right there, that they issued a winter storm warning almost all the way down to the U.S.-Mexico border right here. That's quite crazy if you think about it right there. And that's the furthest south winter storm warning I have seen, at least here. I know the 2021 winter storm had stuff going that far south, but either way, it's really crazy to see that when it does happen. But we have more winter weather alerts. We're going to go ahead and go to Tennessee now, as there is some snow ongoing. We're going to go ahead and show you what's going on in Nashville, what's going on in Huntsville and Alabama. The winter storm warning remains in effect until tomorrow at 6 a.m. Right here, we're going to go ahead and pull that up. Total snow accumulations of 3 to 6 inches for most locations. Locally higher amounts of up to 8 inches possible in some spots south of Interstate 40 and across the plateau for all of Middle Tennessee until 6 a.m. on Tuesday. Travel could be very difficult. I would strongly advise against traveling at this current point in time. That's just my personal opinion until this storm passes. Winter storm warning in effect, and for Huntsville right here, additional snow accumulations up to 4 inches and ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch. For a lot of you who are probably wondering, you're going, Patrick, man, this is 4 inches of snow. Shouldn't this be a winter weather advisory? It shouldn't be that bad. For a place like Huntsville, Alabama, or Alabama in general, they don't typically get this kind of stuff. And it takes 1 inch of snow in the deep south to cause a lot of problems. And a lot of people just can't drive in this stuff down there. They don't have the experience to do that because it doesn't happen very often over there. We also have winter weather alerts as far north as Maryland over here. So we're going to go ahead and show you what we're looking at. This is for parts of West Virginia, and this is yes, I keep forgetting the county right here. This is for this is the winter storm warning that remains in effect. Total snow accumulations of 5 and 7 inches over there for parts of West Virginia. If we go ahead and go to over here in Maryland right here, I believe that's Allegheny County. I'm not 100% sure. Winter storm warning remains in effect. Oh no, Garrett County. Sorry, for you guys. Total snow accumulations up to 4 to 8 inches. Actually, additional snow accumulations up to 4 to 8 inches over there. So that's going to be pretty crazy. Hagerstown's under a winter weather advisory. Hey, Ethan, you hear that? Hagerstown is under a winter weather advisory.
Yeah, I've seen that 3 to 6 inches forecast for that area.
Yep, and it's going all the way down to the DC area as well, as they're looking at some potential snowfall going on over there. Winter weather advisory in effect, total snow accumulations of 3 to 5 inches. The National Weather Service has been keeping a very close eye on the snowfall totals over there. We're going to have to see what plays out for you guys in DC, in Baltimore, all the way up to New York City as well. If we go ahead and show you, New York City is under its own winter weather advisory until tomorrow at 1 p.m. Total snow accumulations of 2 to 3 inches with a light glaze of ice expected over here. So we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on all of this as we continue to get more information. But in the meantime, we have some models that we need to show you. We're going to go ahead and first start with the Arctic Air, because that right now is kind of a pretty big threat for a lot of you guys. We're gonna kind of briefly cover this, and we'll show you multiple models so that way we get a better understanding of when this thing will lift. We'll start with the GEM GDPS with the Arctic Air. I'd say tonight it will be the coldest night. Last night was really cold. Tonight will be the coldest night pretty much throughout the country, and then things will start to slowly get back in order, although in a lot of areas in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and all the way down to Houston, they're calling for temperatures to get as low as 6 degrees down there from the GEM GDPS. I personally think that's a bit unrealistic. Here's what the European is showing. It's showing something completely different. We're looking at a low temperature down to like the mid-20s at the coldest right there. If we go ahead and show you the GFS, similar situation where it's the mid-20s right there, low 30s right there. But in the deep south, like in areas like Tennessee and Alabama, it definitely could get that cold, according to some of these models. Definitely could get below zero in areas like Arkansas, Mississippi, especially into Tennessee after that snowstorm hits, and all the way into North Carolina. We're looking at temperatures below freezing over there. It's just not going to be at the scale of the GEM GDPS at this current point in time. And then things finally start to get in order, although another Arctic surge comes through on Friday and does cause a little bit of chaos for the Midwest. And then it finally starts to dissipate, and finally things start to warm up a little bit starting next week over here. If we go ahead and show you what we're looking at from the GEM GDPS at strongest, we're looking at temperatures of potentially down to minus 30 in parts of Iowa and South Dakota. We're going to cross-check this with the European. Not nearly as cold, still really cold, down to minus 20 in a lot of areas. In the Chicago area, we're looking at negative temperatures over there, but still, it's not going to be like the minus 30 degrees, although the GFS is showing some interesting temperatures down to minus 25. So really everything's on the table at this current point, and this Arctic blast, as I've said, isn't going to really end until probably the start of next week. So we're stuck with these for a while, and that's what we are looking at. Now we're going to go ahead and show you the winter stuff that we're looking at right here. We're going to start with, from start to finish, pretty much of what we're looking at. We're going to start with the GEM GDPS, mainly with this snowstorm that's going to be impacting much of the D.C. area, much of Baltimore, New York, potentially all the way up to Boston over here. Snow accumulation starts to really ramp up. That rain-snow line is much further to the south this time than it was previously, and then it really starts to wreak havoc for a lot of areas, including Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New York City, Baltimore, those areas. And that's the GEM GDPS run. Total snow accumulations for you guys over there, anywhere from what the NWS is calling for, anywhere from like 3 to 6 all the way up to New York City, although some parts of Pennsylvania, particularly the Philly suburbs, could see up to 7 inches of snow. Boston could see up to 5 inches of snow from the first system right here. Here's what the European is also showing right here. The European is showing similar situations that we have right here, at least when it comes to snow accumulation, 3 to 6 inches throughout much of the area right there. And then for the GFS, we can go ahead and give you the timing with this as well, see where that rain-snow line is. Curiously, that rain-snow line doesn't really impact much land. Really north of Charles County in Maryland, and it brings a lot of snow to a lot of New England, the Mid-Atlantic, all those areas right there. We're still looking at a hell of a lot of snow across the Appalachian areas, potentially up to a foot of snow in parts of eastern Tennessee over here. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. But the main areas that I am particularly concerned of outside of this whole gash of 6+ inches over here is this stuff over here from the Mid-Atlantic to Boston, because just an inch of snow over there can also cause a lot of issues, especially with all the beltways and just how and how people typically drive over there. So we'll have to see what's playing out with that. But we do have some other interesting stuff happening, at least in the long term right here. We have other interesting snowstorms starting. The GFS is picking up on a potential system on the 18th and 19th as it really starts impacting the Midwest, potentially impacting a bit of St. Louis. With how much snow are we looking at? Not very much, really, but it definitely could be noticeable as we look at this. And then the GFS is looking on the 19th for kind of more of a nor'easter situation where it does bring a little bit of snow. However, the main stuff's going to be mainly just offshore from there, so we're not sure how that's going to play out. The GEM GDPS, if we go ahead and show you that, it is a similar situation, although the snow in the Midwest comes off as an Alberta clipper and really brings a lot of impacts to Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, all the way into Pennsylvania, the Mid-Atlantic, and those areas right there. And that's the second system that we are paying attention to. And this is looking like it could be a Midwest to Mid-Atlantic threat once again. Total snow accumulations, according to the GEM GDPS, are as of right here. We're going to go ahead and kind of see, kind of cross-check all this because there's just other models, at least in the long term, so that way we can get a better understanding of what we're looking at. The GEM GDPS for a lot of the Chicago area, for instance, and even northern Indiana, is showing 8 inches of snow from that system, 7 to 8 inches of snow from that. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. In fact, we're looking at potential lake effect bands of up to 2 feet of snow if the GEM GDPS is the correct model right here. And as for the Mid-Atlantic, pretty much anywhere with this thing. This is the first system right here. The second system dumps in some cases up to another foot of snow across much of Pennsylvania and New York, and even into New Jersey over here, as well as New England over here. Now we'll go ahead and cross-check this with the European. European is not nearly as extensive. However, it does enhance the lake effect area in the stuff in the Chicago area over here. The lake effect really is kicking in, and it's not the 2 feet that was advertised by the Canadian model, but it is still up to 10 inches of snow for areas in northwest Indiana, parts of western Michigan, even into Grand Rapids. We're looking at 6 inches of snow. But in the Mid-Atlantic over here, things do get a bit interesting, and it's not going to be producing that much more snow in areas like D.C. and Baltimore, but it is going to produce a little bit more snow, maybe another couple of inches across Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York City, all those areas over here. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on as more data continues to come in. And lastly, of course, we have the GFS over here. And the GFS, similar situation to what we were looking at right here. This system is going to bring a few more inches of snow for a lot of areas over here. However, it's mainly going to be in the Appalachian regions of Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania over here, while it does bring some extra snowfall to the D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York City, and Boston areas, all in that order. So we're going to have to pay attention to all of this as more data continues to come in. But we're going to go ahead and close the video out right here. I really hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out, helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather, and if you want to see the behind the scenes of these videos and you want to ask some questions, be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. Link to that is right over there. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.